Neil.
Neil?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. Well, Jim, first of all, we'll move on to the singles matches next. But first of all, can you give us your thoughts on today's play?
Tough fought day. Already have a hand up? Jeez. What did I say wrong already, huh? Wow. Tough fought day. I thought, obviously, my hat's off again to the Europeans. I thought they played a good, solid day of golf. Tough in the morning, came out firing. We got behind in a bunch of matches quick. In a session that we did very well in on Friday, we went out, instead of winning 3-1, we lost 1-3. Same guys out on the golf course. Then you skip to the foursomes, and they put the same 8 guys out that they played Friday afternoon, put the same guys out Saturday afternoon, got a 2-2 split. So we weren't able to reverse their power as well as they did ours. So, started the day 2 down, finished up 4. Obviously hoping to get a winning session. 2.5, 1.5, 3-1 in the afternoon, cuts it to 3 points, cuts it to 2 points. But 2-2, that last match out there, Spieth and Thomas both in the 4th match, getting a point, definitely held us in there strong and gave us at least an opportunity tomorrow to do something special.
You're leading with Justin Thomas tomorrow. Can you tell us just what took you to those decisions that you had to make going into those single matches?
Yeah, it's difficult. I wanted to message the team a bit. Had the 6 of us work on the pairings, talk to the players a touch, but really relied on my vice captains for their opinion on what we saw. We want to get out to a fast start tomorrow. That's key. It's imperative. Everyone knows it. Anytime a team's come back now twice in this event from 4 points, it's been a fast start and a solid middle to late part of the lineup. And I don't know if there's any one match more important than the other, right? You got 12 of them out there, and we have to win 8 points tomorrow to take the cup back home. So we have 12 important matches tomorrow, but you'd like to get off to that fast start like you saw at Brookline, like you saw at Medina. And when that momentum gets going one way, it puts a lot of pressure on those middle matches. So we set our lineup accordingly and put the guys out in the fashion that we felt like, we're trying to make some magic tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Jim. We'll start with number 1.
Hey, Jim, I just wonder, Patrick's been such a fire starter for you the last 2 Ryder Cups, and he's been really kind of silenced the last 2 days. What's been your assessment of his play and what's been going on?
Well, I know he's feisty. I know he's tough. Patrick has let out in that opening match. Right now, we got a feisty guy out there in Justin Thomas leading us off. He's kind of a little spark plug, and I'm sure Patrick is disappointed. The guy's got more heart, more will. Loves the Ryder Cup as much as anyone I know, and we put him in a position tomorrow where I feel like he's a very important player. If we get off to a fast start tomorrow, these matches will come down there right to that. If you look at history, it'll come down into those matches, and got a guy in there that I really trust and I believe in.
Okay, we go to number 2, Karen.
Jim, you're such good friends with Phil. What was that conversation like, telling him he was sitting both sessions? 4 years ago when that happened, it didn't end too well for the captain. I'm just wondering what your reasoning was, how he took it, and also what you think of him playing Molinari tomorrow.
Phil is, as you mentioned, a really good friend. Also in a position where we talked earlier this week about his play and how he was playing and his opportunities for play this week. He fully understood the role that he had today. Gave me a pat on the back and put his arm around me going up following the Spieth Thomas match this morning. And we had a great conversation. Said he would be ready tomorrow, and I put him in a position where I hope that our guys get off to a fast start and put him in that position.
Okay, we'll go to number 4.
Just speak a little more about the play of Justin and Jordan. They have half your points right now, and I think it's obviously their play that at least gives you a chance.
Yeah, I'm sure they're ready to kick their feet up a little bit, maybe get a little rest and recovery. But those guys went out for 4 matches, won 3 of them. Had some really hard fought, tough matches. I've been in that position they were in this morning. We're here the last match out on the golf course. The tide has turned. We lost 4-0 last night. They went out in the morning and the first 3 matches. Towards the end of that day, we're down and looked like they were going to lose, and they were on an island a little bit, and they gutted it out and got it done. And that was a big point for us, to be honest with you. It was a huge point for us. You can't go 4-0, 4-0 back to back and expect to recover. So it was a nice spark for us. It was good for our team to see, and then they got one of the 2 points in the afternoon as well. So love their feistiness. They play very, very well together. They understand each other's games. Sometimes I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about. The language is a little different that they have. It's like mental telepathy or something, but worked out really good. It was fun to listen to. I'm starting to pick on some gibberish.
I just wanted to follow up. What do you think of Jordan's little polter pound to the chest there at the end? Maybe send a message or just having fun or whatever it was. It was a good gesture.
Well, I don't know. I guess the last time I saw that on a Saturday with 4 points down, it worked out pretty good for the other team. So hopefully it sparks us tomorrow.
Okay, we'll go to number 3.
Yeah, Jim, you talked about these pairings were about messaging. Can you talk about what you remember? You wanted to send a message to your players, you said, in the pairings.
Oh, no. I wanted to talk to the players before. I just wanted to talk to the players. I wanted to give them an idea. We're going to make the pairings, and that takes about an hour. We had about an hour to do so. Thomas got here to the press room, and so I knew those guys are going to get home back to the course an hour and a half before I do. I just wanted to talk to the players, give them some thoughts on the day, and give them some things to think about before I get back to the team room. So the messaging was just to talk to them, to get a feel for the room, give them my feelings on the day and my feelings on tomorrow, and what the vice captains and I would be doing in the pairings, and then I kind of cut them loose. The pairings weren't made for any messaging or to send a message to them. The pairings were made to try to get us in a position where we'd have an opportunity tomorrow.
Okay,
well,
if I could just,
Yeah.
My original question was going to be about 1999. You were on that team. Can you remember much about Ben and what he said, and are you channeling any of that tonight?
I remember every damn word of it. We had to talk about it.
I'm going to go to number 2.
Did I answer your question, Alex? Thank you. I remember every damn word of it. That sounds like a Tiger answer. I just repeated myself. There you go.
Hi, Jim. Over here. Just the way some of the Europeans who know this course so well have performed so well over the last 2 days particularly, is this a message for you guys that you can't really turn up with half your team not knowing a course like this and expect to catch up over just a few days' practice?
Well, I was actually excited that I had 6 of the 12 guys come over. I had the week that we had our practice was during John Deere. I had Bryson DeChambeau as a defending champ. I had Zach Johnson and a few guys playing over there. I had some guys playing the Scottish Open. It was Ricky Fowler. It was Matt Kuchar at the time that was in pretty good position. I'm trying to think of more. Phil Mickelson. Kids came here, but he wasn't the Scottish. I'm saying the guys that I had that were, while we were playing our practice rounds, I had guys playing other golf tournaments. I thought getting 6 of the 12 guys over here that actually made my team. We had more guys come for practice that ended up not being on the U.S. team. And I'm very appreciative of that. So I felt like we did a good job getting folks over here. One of the things that Europe, and I've been saying it all week, I know you've been listening, one of the things that I think Ryder Cup Europe does so well is they hold this event on a venue that their team knows very well. They've played the French Open here. They love this golf course. When I was named Ryder Cup captain, I can't tell you how many European players said, you're going to love this course. And they were correct. I think it's a fabulous golf course. I think it's a great venue for the event. I think it's a great test. I also think their players know it very well and are very prepared for it. And, a world-class player, I mean, we go play major championships all the time where we haven't seen the golf course before. And we prepare, and you see guys, I won a major championship, the U.S. Open. I'd never seen that golf course before. You should be able to prepare and get ready, but that little local course knowledge helps. But I'm not going to this point, right? Saturday night, we've played 16 matches. We've been outplayed. I don't think there's a guy in my team room that would argue with me. Right now, they've played better golf, and we have to be able to do just that tomorrow. We have to go out there and start out hot, put a little pressure on them, and we have to be the better team tomorrow. There's no other bones about it.
Okay, number 1 on the right here.
Jim, you were saying you remembered Brookline clearly, but could you get almost as much out of revisiting the memories of Medina and when that seed of doubt started to creep in for you guys at the time, and how do you plant that?
It sure sucked being on the other side, I will say that. That was one of the worst days of my career. I remember it probably even better, to be honest with you. And the feeling of the momentum switching, the feeling of hearing the European crowd and looking up at the board and seeing blue it's a tough feeling in the stomach. It reminded me very much of '99, and unfortunately I lost the 17th and 18th hole to Sergio, and my match was one of the key ones, so I remember it very well. It's probably in a list of my top 3, worst nightmares in golf. So I remember it very, very vividly and very clearly, and I learned a lot from that experience as well. Absolutely. Just as much from 2012 as I did in '99.
Does that make it all the more important to get that early start to plant that seed of doubt? Is it scary how quickly things can just go the wrong way?
There's always an ebb and flow. You get out and there could be 3 red scores up on the board, and you look up next time and there's 4 blue and 1 red, and then you look up again and there's a tide. But in the middle of the day, I hope, I'm really hoping we get some red on the board and we get some momentum, and be a lot of fun. I know it puts a lot of pressure on the other team, and it's not like there's a secret potion, or, we didn't set up our pairings any differently probably than you all expected. We put out some guys early we thought could give us a spark, and maybe had, I'll just say we put out some guys we thought could give us a spark.
Okay, number 3 on the left.
Jim, Ben Crenshaw is here this week.
Yes, sir.
Will you have him come in, waggle a finger at the team, or
That's
is
a good idea.
anybody going to come talk to them tonight, try to inspire them?
We've invited, if I were to be totally honest, the past captains that are here are invited to come visit and see us, and each and every one of them have taken us up on that, and they've been around. I think it's good for our younger players that maybe didn't know Ben and Tom Kite and Tom Lehman and Dave Stockton, and maybe haven't had the opportunity to be around them. They're such gentlemen, and so we've invited them to kind of hang out and come have a drink, and they've chatted with the players some. I think it's great to have them around.
Okay,
So,
number 4.
if he wants to wave a finger, he's more than invited.
Jim, you got asked yesterday about Tiger and if you thought he might have been injured, and while that might not be the case,
I'm pretty sure he wasn't with the 36 holes today.
he clearly took a couple of hard lashes at a few shots as well, but he does seem a little off. I mean, obviously last week was a big win. Can you say, is he ill? Is he under the weather at all? I mean, we haven't had a chance to talk to him really. He just looks, obviously a little bit not quite the way he's been.
I think early in the week he looked a little tired. I think his pace looked slow a little bit walking. I think that's expected. Coming off a big win, you think emotionally what he put into his comeback to this season, the amount of golf he played leading up, trying to make the Ryder Cup team, trying to basically almost win the FedEx Cup. I mean, he put a lot of work and a lot of effort into it and played a lot more golf than he's used to. And physically, I think Tiger's pretty fit, but that takes a mental toll, and I think he was a little tired earlier this week. I think, the idea to sit, to rest him, basically, sit's a bad word, to rest him on Friday afternoon, I think was a good one. I think he was tired. It allowed him to maybe get some energy back, watch his teammates play a little bit, provide a spark as a veteran leader, and we came out today and decided to play him 36. I think his style of game lends itself very well for foursomes. I think he can control the ball very well. That's what you need, and it didn't work out. But I think he might be emotionally a little bit tired, but you find a way in a Ryder Cup to gain some energy and some adrenaline, and you work hard, and I know he's going to be fit and ready to go tomorrow.
Number 2 in the middle.
Jim, when you look at Tiger's record in the team sessions in this event, not so much at the President's Cup, but it's not what you probably would expect from Tiger Woods in his career. What do you attribute that to?
This week, I'd have to say Francesco Molinari and Tommy Fleetwood. Those guys played incredible golf. The scores that they shot in both formats were very impressive. And I think I heard that in one of Tiger's interviews, he said he felt like he played some pretty good golf. It wasn't good enough. And I think it's because of those two gentlemen, to be honest with you.
Okay, number 1 down the back.
So in the past, I honestly, I'd have to think about that for a little while. I think, it's been a while since we've seen Tiger on one of these teams and healthy enough. But this week, I would have to say it's due to the play of the folks he played against.
Jim, in general, do you think that pick rookies to go outside U.S., it's a good idea besides how good they are playing championship golf?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand. It was about rookies on our team?
Yep.
And
in general, I mean.
Rookies in general at the Ryder Cup?
In general, to go outside the U.S. in the Ryder Cup team.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. Playing here.
Is it important for rookies if they've played outside the U.S.?
If it is a good idea to pick rookies to go outside the U.S. to play in the Ryder Cup team.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay, sorry.
So we picked 2 rookies as captain's picks. And do I think that's a good idea to bring them to Europe at an away match for the Ryder Cup? Is that the question? Yeah. I feel like we had 2 guys that were in extremely good form. Bryson won down the stretch. Bryson was really close to qualifying for the team on points itself, and then basically won 2 of the last 3 events before we made our picks. I mean, he was the hot player at the time and a guy that was playing some good golf. It was hard. It would have been impossible not to take him. And Tony Finau was the guy that was playing the next best. He finished 2nd, 4th, and 8th in 3 events. Honestly, it was hard not taking Tony the first week, if that makes sense. And I felt bad saving him for the second week. I think what you'll see in this event is everyone responds to it differently. It's a partner event. You try to get some veteran players around the rookies. You try to give them an idea of what it's going to be like. Here it's interesting. We showed up on Tuesday and the stands were empty. I mean, actually there was barely a crowd on Tuesday, so it was hard. You were telling the rookies about how loud it's going to be and how exciting it's going to be, and we showed up and there was nobody in the stands, and it was the most quiet Ryder Cup I've ever seen on a Tuesday in my 11 Ryder Cups. And I just kept saying, just wait. And Wednesday or Thursday I had them walk down the path to the first tee, and I said, this entire stadium is going to be full and they're going to be chanting songs and singing, and they were booing, and they were having a great time. It was an awesome atmosphere, and I think I wanted the guys to imagine that, and I think Tony loved it. I mean, I think Bryson loved it. Tony was the first guy to hit a shot for us, and he loved that atmosphere. And Bryson was out on the tee, and I told Bryson when I was there, I said, there's a good thing and a bad thing. You came out here to watch his first match. And he kind of looked at me funny, and he goes, well, what's the good thing? And I said, look at this atmosphere. Does it get any better than this? And he said, absolutely not, Captain. He goes, what's the bad thing? I said, you came out here to watch this, and now you're chomping at the bit, and you can't wait to get out there either later today or tomorrow. And he started laughing. He goes, you're right, I can't wait. So you never know how those guys are going to respond. It's hard to call Justin Thomas a rookie. It's hard to call Tommy Fleetwood a rookie. And those guys played spectacular golf. You never know how they're going to respond and how they're going to play. But I felt I have a lot of confidence in both Tony and Bryson, and I love them as picks, and I would do it all over again.
Okay, we're going to finish with number 3, Karen.
Jim, just to clarify 2 things on Phil. Midway through the morning sessions, he was on the range hitting. At that point, did he think he might be playing this afternoon? At what point did you let him know he was not?
He was practicing. He wanted to be ready. He wanted to have a few things working on his game, and I let him know about the time we were putting pairings out that he would not be playing in the afternoon, and I got a chance to catch up with him. He was following Justin and Jordan, and we had that talk when I'm 17. So I had to leave him a message to tell him, which I don't like to do. I'd rather do it in person, but I really need to be out there on the golf course, and I wanted to really kind of cheer on my team. And like I said, that last point was big for us. It was exciting, and I was happy for the two of them.
And then you said he had accepted whatever role he would
Absolutely.
have. Do you think he thought at the beginning of the week he would play 2 times this Ryder Cup?
I doubt it. That's not the Phil Mickelson I know. I mean, he's got a lot of confidence in himself. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's added so much to these teams in the past. And this week, I probably didn't envision him playing 2 matches, to be honest with you. I envisioned more, but that's the way it worked out. It's the way we thought we had to go. And you get a guy like him in the team room, he adds so much more than his play, if that makes sense. He's the most, probably, correct me if I'm wrong, he's played more Ryder Cup matches than anyone in Ryder Cup history, right? So the most experienced Ryder Cup player of all time. You've got him in your team room. He's funny, he's sarcastic, he's witty, likes to poke fun at people. He's a great guy to have there in the team room. I think the younger players had fun having a go at him as well this week, which was fun to see. And he provides a lot more than just play. And I'd be disappointed if he said he thought he was going to play 2. I know Phil. He wants to be out there just like everyone else. But that's part of being a team, and that's part of this event. We have 12 amazing players, and they can't all play every match. And you accept what you get. And my guys are happy to be a part of this and be a part of this team and this event. And I had no issues in the team room like that.
Jim, thank you very much, and best
Thanks.
of luck tomorrow. Cheers.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.